You're tuning in to VNA News Daily Bulletin. Coming up next, we have your top stories. Party leaders meet with naval officers and soldiers in Khánh Hòa province. Cabinet members mull over draft resolution on business development. UN Deputy Secretary General John Eliasson on climate change fact-finding mission in Vietnam. Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng has expressed his confidence in the political staff and fighting spirit of naval soldiers. The party leader met with officers and soldiers of the Naval Zone 4 High Command in Cam Ranh, the central province of Khánh Hòa, on May 5th. The party chief highlighted the Vietnam People's Army's resolve to protect the nation, peace, and people's wealthy and happy lives. He underlined the need to increase the party's all-round leadership and the state's concentrated management over the army, and tighten links between the army and people. The naval force should take the initiative in coordinating with party committees at all levels and local authorities to strengthen community-based national defense, he noted. The party, state and people always pay special heed to building the army in general and the People's Navy in particular, the party chief said. He added he believes that the naval force will carry forward the traditions of the party, the Vietnam People's Army and the nation to achieve more feats of arms and contribute more to national construction and defense. State President Trần Đại Quang held separate meetings with Chinese Ambassador to Vietnam Hong Xiaoyong and Italian Ambassador Cecilia Piccioni in Hanoi on May 5th. During his meeting with the Chinese ambassador, President Quang said Vietnam always attaches importance to boosting its friendly neighborliness and comprehensive cooperation with China, and considers China as one of its top priorities in foreign policy. He stated the Chinese embassy should elevate its role as a bridge connecting the two countries' ministries, agencies, and localities to soon realize all existing cooperation mechanisms and agreements in the fields of trade and investment. Both sides should also deliver effective solutions to improve the bilateral trade balance and encourage Chinese businesses to invest in major projects in Vietnam. Regarding the East Sea issue, President Quang asked the two sides to abide by the agreements and common perception by leaders of the two countries, refraining from taking actions that could further complicate the situation and resolve issues in a peaceful manner and in line with international law. Ambassador Hong Xiaoyong congratulated President Quang on his election as Vietnam's head of state. He affirmed that China highly values its relationship with Vietnam and hopes to continue maintain high-level exchanges as well as boost cooperation across many spheres, strengthening the comprehensive strategic cooperative partnership between the two countries.
At the reception for Italian ambassador to Vietnam, Cecilia Piccioni, the same day, President Trần Đại Quang voiced his pleasure at the development of multifaceted cooperation between the two countries over recent years. Italy is among the top EU trade partners of Vietnam, with bilateral trade reaching $4.3 billion last year and is expected to increase to $5 billion annually. He emphasized the economic, political, and cultural cooperation as key pillars in bilateral ties, and asked for the expansion of defense, security, and education cooperation. The ambassador said her country always treasures ties with Vietnam, which is its biggest trade partner in ASEAN. Italy is Vietnam's second biggest EU importer. Italy has opened its consulate general in Ho Chi Minh City to provide more support for its businesses, which manifests the country's desire to boost relations with the Southeast Asian country, the diplomat noted.
Cabinet members mulled over the government's draft resolution on business development during their regular meeting in Hanoi on May 5th. The document, together with the amended investment law and the revised enterprise law, is expected to create a breakthrough in administrative management and facilitate the operation of businesses. Under the draft resolution, foreign invested, state-owned and private enterprises will stand equal. The resolution's top objective is to consolidate businesses' confidence. While raising high consensus on targets and tasks set in the document, the cabinet members propose separating the state management function of ministries from their business management function in order to improve their operation efficiency and facilitate the development of enterprises. Concluding the working session, Prime Minister Nguyen Xuan Phuc asked the Ministry of Planning and Investment to acquire these opinions to complete the draft resolution to submit to the government and the Prime Minister early next week. Under the document, Vietnam is expected to house 1 million businesses by 2020. The private sector is set to contribute about 48 to 49% to the national GDP. It puts forth specific tasks and measures focusing on administrative reform, the creation of a favorable climate for creativity in businesses and startups, ensuring the right to running business and the equal right to accessing resources and business opportunities. As part of his working visit to Vietnam, UN Deputy Secretary General John Eliasson had a working session with Bến Tre province and conducted several fact-finding trips to its localities affected by drought and saltwater intrusion. On May 5th, the Deputy Secretary General's delegation arrived at Ba Chi district, one of the areas most heavily affected by saltwater intrusion in recent months. Eliasson stated that the UN will create favorable conditions to support the locals facing difficulties and will soon report on the conditions of the region to the World Humanitarian Summit for more assistance. Afterward, the delegation visited Bảo Thuận waterworks as well as inspecting the serious landslide spots in Bảo Thuận commune. According to the latest statistics, prolonged saltwater intrusion has damaged over 12,000 hectares of winter-spring crops in Ba Chi district, leaving thousands without clean water and halting productions of 200 small industrial facilities. Later the same day, the delegation had a working session with local officials of Bến Tre province, which faces a loss of 20,000 hectares of rice and 5,000 hectares of fruit trees. Bến Tre province authorities asked the UN to call on Mekong River countries to effectively use their common water source. Deputy Secretary General Eliasson said the fact-finding trip and the working session have given the delegation a comprehensive view on the heavy impacts of climate change on the people of Vietnam. He also stated that he would deliver the results of this trip at the UN's Climate Change Conference on May 26. The ASEAN Regional Forum Defense Officials Dialogue took place in Luang Prabang, Laos, with much emphasis on humanitarian and security issues. The Vietnamese delegation to the event was led by Major General Vũ Tiến Trọng, Director of the Institute for Defense International Relations under the Ministry of National Defense.
With the theme of promoting peace and security via dialogue and cooperation in Asia and Pacific, the May 5th dialogue focused on the cooperation between the army and people in providing humanitarian aid and overcoming disaster consequences, as well as regional peacekeeping and cybersecurity. The one-day event looked to seek and further push cooperation from ASEAN's dialogue countries to solve the above-mentioned issues. The forum also showed a strong determination in pursuing a foreign policy to boost friendship and cooperation between ASEAN member nations and the bloc's partner and dialogue countries. It is expected that delegates will make positive and constructive contributions to further intensify the relationship and practical cooperation in solving current and future security challenges, and together maintain peace, stability, and security in the region and the world.
From May 1, 2016, the basic salary for state employees, civil servants and servicemen has been increased from 1.15 million Vietnam dong to 1.21 million Vietnam dong per month. The basic salary hike is pursuant to a resolution on state budget estimates approved by the National Assembly in November 2015. The 5% rise, equivalent to 60,000 Vietnam dong or almost $3, is expected to bring few improvements in the living conditions of the beneficiaries, but shows the government's great efforts after 3 years of postponing the salary increase. Accordingly, the state budget will have to disburse 11 trillion Vietnam dong, around $500 million for the salary hike in 2016 alone. Earlier, regional minimum wages have been raised by an average of 12.4% since January 1, 2016, as approved by the government recently, 2 months after the plan was proposed by the National Salary Council. The minimum monthly wage is 3.5 million Vietnam dong for Region 1, 3.1 million Vietnam dong for Region 2, 2.7 million Vietnam dong for Region 3, and 2.4 million Vietnam dong for Region 4. Regionally based monthly minimum wages vary in 4 different regions based on 4 separate benchmarks determined by living standards in each area. The 10th European Food Festival will take place in Hanoi on May 14th as part of European Days in Vietnam. The event is expected to offer visitors an opportunity to enjoy European specialties introduced in Vietnam for the first time.
The organizers said at a press briefing in Hanoi on May 5th that 20 leading hotels, restaurants and distributors in the capital city will offer a variety of delicious food and drinks from different regions of Europe.
We're doing more things. We're doing double than last year. Last year we had 2 items and now we're up to 4. For example, we've got pita bread with grilled lamb, and pretzel burger, so kind of a German-style burger, French fries, wedges, something easy and fast, and apple strudel, again, was very popular last year.
The EU-Vietnam Business Network, the event's organizer, will have a stand where several European companies introduce their products for the first time in Vietnam.
7 European companies will introduce such products as croissants, jams, olive oils and cheeses. EVBN hopes Vietnamese customers will welcome our products, and the event will create business opportunities for European companies.
Highlights of the festival will also include a cryogenic food show for children, live music, entertainments, a kids' corner, and a lucky draw with amazing prizes such as return air tickets to Europe. The festival has attracted over 10,000 visitors since it made debut in 2006.
A musical concert and firework performance rounded off the 9th Hue Festival in the evening of May 4th, attracting thousands of travelers. Let's take a look. The 6th-day annual festival gathered nearly 1,200 performers, including 271 foreigners from 18 countries and territories around the world, who entertained the crowd with 53 consecutive shows. Visitors to the event were treated to a series of fiestas featuring different cuisines, hot air balloons, fashion, kite flying, poetry and dancing, among other activities. During the festival, the central province of Thừa Thiên Huế welcomed 250,000 tourists, up 23% from the previous festival. Of those, 68,200 were foreign visitors, mainly from France, the Republic of Korea, the US, the UK, Australia, Thailand, Germany, China, the Netherlands, Japan and Spain. And that was the end of our news bulletin. Thanks for watching. For more information, please log on to our website at www.vietnamplus.vn. Goodbye for now.